Good morning. Really quick video. I've just watched Annie Claxton do her video on her inspiring books and everything, and one of the books was freemotion embroidery, and she was saying that she's really nervous about doing it, and I know a lot of people are, and once you've had a go, you'd be amazed at how easy it is. So I'm going to do a really basic video showing you how to set your machine up. I mean, I know you're not going to have the same one as me, but they're pretty generic, I'll be honest with you. To set it up, to get the foot on, talk about what the feed dogs are and all that stuff, and actually do some free motion embroidery with you, and show you what you need to kind of, well, what I use. I mean, you know, you'll do yourself obviously, but yeah, I thought I'd just do a real basic video, so here we go. Right, so free motion embroidery means that you become the machine. If you don't move the fabric, it's not going to go anywhere because your feed dogs are not activated. Let's talk about feed dogs. So bear with me, I'm just going to angle you down to the machine. 2 seconds. Right, so there's the foot of the machine, if you like. Let me turn the light on, you might be able to see it better. So at the moment I've got my big walking foot on, which is this ginormous thing, and that helps both layers of fabrics to go through at the same time. So the feed dogs are underneath here. Let me just take this one off and I can show you those exactly, because a lot of people are like, well, what the hell are feed dogs? Well, I'll show you. So taking my foot off, so these graty things here, let me just see if I can get you closer. These things here, these metal bits, that's your feed dogs. Okay, I don't know why they're called that, they just are. Okay, so when you start free motion embroidery, they need to be lowered. Now, not all, I've got a switch at the back of my machine, which I'll show you in a second. Not all machines have that switch, but you can buy a plate which sits, it's got like a spike, I don't know, what would you call it, like a peg on it basically, which sits in this little hole here. Let me get you around here a bit more. Ooh, hold tight, you're around a plug. There's like a little, ooh, crikey, sorry guys. There's a little hole here. Alright, and it would sit in there and it would cover the feed dogs. Okay, it would cover all this, so they no longer activate and move the fabric for you. I'm just going to pause you and get you more stable. Hang on. Right, I think you're more stable now. Sorry about that. Okay, so you thread up your machine exactly the same way. So I've got a bobbin in already. Let me just show you the feed dogs working and you'll get an idea of what they are. I think you can see there. So I'm just going to put my machine on very, very slow, hit the start button. My machine's never worked by the foot. I don't know why, so I haven't got a foot mechanism. But as I start the machine, hopefully, I need to get that plug out of the way. Bear with me, because I keep catching it and it keeps collapsing the leg. Right, so you should see the feed dogs moving, these things here. Can you see them rocking? Alright, so when you drop the feed dogs, they stop coming up. They still move, but they stop coming up above the plate here, okay? I'll show you that in a sec. So I can feel them above this plate here, okay? So that means that the feed dogs are activated. So again, I'm hoping you're stable there. Let me just move that out of the way. I need to move my long sewing bed, so bear with me. Okay, I've got a Genome, I don't know what mic it is, a DXL 603. Most machines have exactly the same thing. So at the back of my machine here, there is a switch. Okay, and if I move it one way or the other, if you watch the feed dogs, you will see them drop down. I can never remember which way to move it. That way. Did you see them? Yeah, they drop down below the... Let me just turn the wheel again and get them back up. So there they are up. I'm trying to get you as close as possible. Hold tight. Okay, I'm going to flip the switch and you should see them drop. I can't see what you're seeing now. This is not good videoing. I'm trying to get it in there. Okay, let's drop them again. You ready? You'll see them drop. Okay, see them disappear? Okay, so they're not activated now. So even when I push the start button, which I'm about to do, so hold tight, you'll see they do not come up above the stitch plate, okay? Which is what you want for free motion embroidery. Let me move you back here now. So we've activated the feed dog, well, we've deactivated the feed dogs, I should say. Okay, so now any piece of fabric I put under here is not going to go anywhere unless I move it. Okay, so that's the whole thing with free motion embroidery. All right, you are free to do what you want to do with it. Now the next thing is that you do need a free motion embroidery foot. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. So I've got that one, I've got that one. I don't know where all these came from. I've just accumulated them over the years. I got another one somewhere which has got a really big head on it. 2 seconds. Should have done this before I... Yeah, it's got a massive... I'll show you these up close. I think that's all I've got, 3. Yeah. Okay, so... let's put my pots back in. Clear the decks. Right, yeah, so they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. This one's okay. I don't know. It is okay. It works. It does the job, okay? There's this type, which has got like a spring and it moves. Okay, because this part attached, I'll show you all this, don't worry. And then that's your foot. It's a clear plastic one, okay? It can be helpful. I find with this one, because it's not what's called a closed foot, you can catch on fabric and stuff, and it can stop them, you know, stop you being able to free motion really easily. So I don't use that one very often. And this one is a closed foot, as you can see. It's a closed ring, but it's quite big, and I find it quite awkward to work with, basically. So I tend to go with this one. All right, it does the job, and that's all I need. Now you'll see it's got like this thing, this bit here. How do I show you that? Like that, I think is easiest. All right, so this bit goes onto here where I've just taken the other foot off, and this bar sits up under here. Let me move it down. You've got your needle bar here, so that bit has to sit on there. All right, hopefully you'll see that. So you just sort of wrap it around the stem, if you like, that comes down here, which is where all your feet attach to. Okay, and then this one I have to give it a little push. So I've got this sat up here. Let me move you around here and you might be able to see better. Trouble is I can't see what you're seeing. Yeah, so that is sat on this, is this where you put your needle in and out, basically, if you're changing your needle. So it sits up there, and I have to give this one a little gentle shove, pull it around, because it's quite sprung tension on this one, so I have to sort of do the nut and push it in at the same time. The other ones are easy, they just hook on, but I like this one. It's nice and small, and I can see what the problem is, bear with me. Just move my needle out of the way, that doesn't help. Normally your needle's up when you're doing this. I just put it down just to show you the bar here. All right, so it's sitting on top of this. Again, let me just wind it down and you'll see. You see it's sat on top of here. It needs to do that because that helps with the tension, and to actually lift the when the needle lifts, it kind of lifts the foot a little bit as well, so it really helps you move around. You'll see it in action in a second. So there we are. So that's all attached, and you can see it rocks with the needle. All right, okay, so that's the really close-up stuff. So that's it. Okay, so now all we need to do now is thread our threads as normal. So I'm going to put the bobbin in, and I have to sort of pull mine back that way, and I've got just a green thread here. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I've got a thread holder at the back of my machine, which I like to use. just got caught under the wire. Everything's had to move because I'm filming that close. So I'm just going to bring it across. You thread your machine as perfectly as normal. Okay, I've got an automatic needle thread. I'd say automatic. It's a needle threader. Makes life a lot easier. Okay, and you do that, and then I just do the up down arrow or turn your wheel just to bring your bobbin thread up. Just bog standard stitching. This is what we always do. If I can actually get my hand in there. Right, okay, so both threads are through, so that's fine. Put the case on the bobbin and we're ready to stitch. Okay, now a lot of people insist that you have to change the stitch size. I can't get this on camera. Hang on, so I can't see what you're seeing now, so bear with me. Okay, so a lot of people say to change the stitch size. I tend not to bother, I'll be honest with you, but you can. I mean, on this one I have to use a side arrow and you bring it down to 0. Okay, just do it anyway. This one I just leave as is. It's the size of it's the needle position that changes the needle position basically. This on my machine is just straight stitch, which is that you can't see that one there. Okay, you can use zigzag when you're in free motion embroidery, so I will show you that. I keep the zigzag quite small because my foot is not a wide one and I don't want the needle hitting the metal. Okay, so I tend to do like a size 3, and that's quite handy for holding down the edge of things. So let me put you back on the table. Hold tight, whizzy whizzy. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm going to put you there because I need to put my table back on. I've got this extension table. You might not have one. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. Okay, so my table's in. Right, so that's all ready to go. Let's talk about the fabrics. I always put something on the back of my free motion embroidery pieces. It stabilises it. If you try, unless you've got a really heavy canvas or a really thick fabric, always put something on the back. I've got a piece of scrap felt here, and I've got a cat now, go away. I've got a piece of felt, a scrap piece of fabric, and it really is just a scrap. I just pulled it out of the bin. And these are squares that came out of the corners when I was making the bags that I've just made basically. So I'm going to use those to show you the stitching. All right, so any scraps, any shape, you can you know, it can be felt, it can be fabric, it can be you can actually stitch paper on if you want to. Anything, you know, as long as your needle goes through it, you'll be fine. If you're stitching paper, change your needle after you've used paper. And the cat's now decided to come up here, so there might be an invasion in a moment. So you can leave it raw edge. Okay, you don't have to go around the edges if you don't want to. It's completely up to you now. Yeah, you can heavily stitch it or you can light stitch it. Again, it's up to you what you want to do. What I recommend is, first of all, get a piece of felt, a scrap, couple of scraps, and play. Okay, don't worry about the end result, you are playing. All right, so I'm going to put this under the machine now, so just literally slide it across. Always remember to put your tension foot down, your bar. Okay, I don't think you'll see it, but there it is. Okay, so you can see it comes down. You need that, otherwise it's not going to tension your threads in here. All right, so always put that down. You'll get a bunch of knots at the back if you don't. Standard basic stitching. Although putting that down doesn't clamp the foot, it still engages the tensions, the tension discs inside up there. Right. I'm probably not making any sense whatsoever, but I'm trying to keep it as basic as I can. All right, now there's a little thing that I always say to myself: slow hands, fast machine. Because the slower you move and the faster your machine is going, the denser your stitching will be, which, you know, is my, you know, I think there's a certain taste. Some people like it quite gappy and free and what have you. I like mine quite dense stitch. Well, I don't know about dense stitching. I can't describe it. I'm just going to do it because I can't describe what I mean. So I'm just going to do some very simple squiggles on here, and let's see how we go. I'm going to keep the machine fairly slow so that you can see, but I will be moving my hands very slow because I like it like that. So I'm sorry about the noise. I think my needle needs to be changed, but it's going to be a bit clunky. If it's really loud, I will turn the volume down on the video. So my foot is down technically, but I can still move my fabric freely. If this is too tight to the fabric, you've put your foot on wrong. Okay, it should, all these feet automatically do not lock down hard onto the fabric. All right, so check that you've got this piece here. They've all got it. All right, it needs to sit on this bar here. Okay, I think I'm making sense, but who knows. Right, I'm just going to start. As I say, I haven't got a foot pedal for this machine. It's never worked, and still won't. So here we go. I'm just going to press the start button. So you can see, because the machine's going slow, I'm moving my hands quite slowly. And the really weird thing is, if you do writing, your handwriting will be on that fabric. Okay, I'm just going to see if I can get you up here so you can see what I'm stitching. Right, this is very close quarters. I think you can see it. All right, so I've just done a circle, so I'm just going to carry on now and do some squiggly bits. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to tell you is cut this off. You are supposed to drag it up to the top and then cut it off. I always forget, I'll be honest with you. So if I can get round you to snip. Did that get it? Yeah. All right, get rid of that because it does get entwined in your stitching otherwise. Okay, I don't know, are you seeing? I don't think you really are. Okay, I'm going to leave you there. I think you're online there. Right, so just going to squiggle now. Of course, the really cool thing with freemotion embroidery is that you just turn the fabric. If you can't see where you're going, just turn the fabric. Right, I can't see where I'm going. Stop it. Turn the fabric. Okay, I'm going to change it to a very small zigzag. I'm taking the zigzag down to a size 3. Again, I don't bother to change the stitch length, but I will do just for demonstration purposes, in case you want to neaten your edges. So I'll just show you that working. Again, you've got to move the fabric, okay? And of course, with the zigzag, you can still go sideways. And you can go backwards. Right, it's not all about forward stitching, not anymore. Okay, so that's the zigzag. You can make your stitches really long. I'm just going to go back to straight stitch, take it back to 0. Okay, so going slowly, you can start here and really stretch it. Again, you're in charge. All right, they're really big stitches in there. I don't know if you can even see them actually. Let me see if I can get something under there. Okay, it's stitched really big stitches. I can't get it under. Yeah, they're big stitches for freemotion embroidery. Normally they're tiny. Okay, so yeah, that's it really. I mean, that's the basics. Obviously you can do handwriting. Let me just sorry, I don't want to swivel it that way, so I'll bonk you. Let me just pull this over here. Okay, put the foot down. All right, and we'll just do some, if you're not confident, write it on with a pen first. And we've just written the word hello. All right, so again, lift your thing to release all the threads so that you can move your fabric. Okay, so say you've got, like on this one, I've got these tiny little flowers here. So if I want to pick them out, I can lower my foot there, and then I can just stitch them now. And again, you just move the fabric to where you want it to go. All right, and it's as simple as, I find it simple. I mean, yes, I've done a lot of it. It does come with practice, unfortunately. So what I would say is, again, just grab yourself a scrap of fabric. Do not get anything precious. You don't need to you need to use your posh threads. Okay, let me just move you back a tad there. I'm just going to move you back onto the table. Ooh, yeah, you don't need to use all your posh threads. Just play with a scrappy old thread. All right, you don't need to. I mean, you know, once you get the hang of it, you'll want all your fancy threads and make it look amazing. You don't have to worry about tying off your threads. You can do, but because you're doing free motion embroidery, you would have stitched on that quite a bit, I would imagine. So, yeah. So really, scraps. Get your machine set up. And the other thing is, watch your shoulders, okay? Because what you tend to do is this. Okay, keep your shoulders down, keep your back straight, and move it like that. You can get special gloves with like grips on them, because if you're doing a large piece, you want to be able to move it quite smoothly. An extension table does help. If you haven't got one, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So, yeah, I've tried to keep that as basic as possible. Any questions, just ask me, okay? I'm here to hold your hand. Yeah, I'm kind of talking about it because I did that piece there. And I love free motion embroidery, and I hadn't done it for ages, so it was nice to get back to that. But yeah, as I say, and then of course on the back you've got your stitching. All right, and that can look as nice as the front sometimes. Depends what you've done. Yeah, have a go, have a play. Don't be afraid of it. Keep your machine slow if because I normally do it really fast. But if you're really concerned about that, keep your machine quite slow, but move your hands slowly. Okay, don't go too. Yeah, keep your hands slower than your machine, if that makes sense. So anyway, I'm gonna go because I'm now waffling. Ask me any questions you like, and I'll get back to you. I think that's everything. I can't think of anything else I need to tell you. If your machine didn't come with a foot, you can buy these. I don't, naughtily, I don't go for genuine Janome parts. They're pretty universal because they put about another £10 on the cost of something like this. So I don't go for the genuine ones. You do you. Right, yeah, that's it, I'm going. All right, I hope you found that useful. Annie, get your blinking machine out and get started. If your feed dogs drop, or you've got that plate that covers them, you can do it. All right, speak to you later. Bye.